Hi, I'm at the park again, and sun's trying to peek out, so I'm gonna try to turn the video there so you can see between the trees there. Um, it's a good day, although the temperature dropped again, and actually I'll show you here because it made me think about the red carpet, yet here in nature, its little twist is the white carpet, and it wasn't here yesterday, but it's pretty amazing that it somehow has fallen on the trail and not much anywhere else. So, I guess nature has welcomed me by rolling out the white carpet today. Um, so, to follow up on yesterday's video, I wanted to talk about an experience I had when I worked at the hospital, and it was with a gentleman whose name was John, and I was about 20 at the time, and in the nursing program, and I worked at the hospital to try to get more experience. And John was there because he had cancer, and I don't remember what his original diagnosis was, but the cancer spread and traveled and became brain cancer as well. So John was older. I'm guessing he was probably like in his 70s, but back when you're 20, you think that somebody in their 50s or 60s are old. So, anyways, that's not so important. What is important is he was a bigger guy and kind of gruff and grumpy. And I realized a little bit at the time how part of that was due to the nature of his diagnosis and what he had to deal with, and coming to terms with the fact that his life was going to be ending. Well, excuse me. John, like most cancer patients, had his chemo treatments, and then several months later he'd come back and get the next set of treatments, and then months later he'd come back and get the next set of treatments. And I discovered in the time that I dealt with John that that grumpiness was just a facade that he had, and he really was a teddy bear and had a pure heart underneath. And I think I wound up kind of getting to him a little bit too, when with my gentle teasing with him. Anyways, it was getting close to the end, and I wasn't there when this happened, but from what I understand, John was told that he was going to have 24 hours to live, and there was something that the doctor noticed with his brain, and the doctor decided that it was a wise move to do surgery at that point, and called the family and convinced them that surgery was the right thing to do. Now, I have to ask you, with 24 hours to live, is that how you want to spend your last 24 hours? And was that fair to the family to have him undergo a surgery that cost who knows how many thousands of dollars back then, only to know and have to deal with the fact that he was going to be dying anyway? It was one of my decisions why I left nursing. And another decision why I left nursing is because I always said to myself, and when people ask me why I did, I don't want to feel like I have somebody else's life in my hands. I don't want to be the cause of that if there's an emergency or whatever the case may be. And I'm glad I made that decision. I guess, when it comes to this, there's so much more that I've learned in regards to the insurance industry and to the bonuses that doctors receive for vaccinating a certain percentage of their patients. They're getting bonuses of 25 to 50,000 a year if they vaccinate a certain number of their patients. It's all about money. The fact that, again, John's family had to wind up paying all kinds of additional money for a surgery that was unnecessary. It's just heartbreaking, and the system needs to change. It needs to improve, and there's so much more out there that we need to start paying more attention to. There's so much dealing with frequencies and how frequencies can help us heal. There are so many ways we can go about through natural healing. I spoke to somebody who is in the hospitals, and I was very pleased to hear said probably within the next year or two that music therapy, the frequency of music, will become standard care for every patient. So why haven't we been doing these things when we know that they've been proven to work? Oh, because they don't produce the side effects and require additional medication to counter those side effects. Also, speaking of frequencies, please be aware that if you have a tuning fork, and please look up, I'm not sure if it applies to every single tuning fork, but if you hit a tuning fork, it can realign your body and kind of bring you back into balance, which I won't go on this tangent, but I'll just mention is part of the reason why they got rid of the bells with churches and other places, because the bells used to bring people into alignment as well and provided healing for them. So I'm proud of the fact, and I often say that I'm old school in many ways, and maybe that's because it resonates with me. There are many things from the past that probably should be brought back. I'll have to talk about, excuse me a second, architecture on another day, because the old-time architecture just truly resonates with my soul. And I've always questioned about why today's homes and buildings just are so boxy and have no personality and just don't feel good. There's just almost like a negativity coming off of them. And of course, the answer I always get is, well, it's about money. Well, gosh, if we're going to be investing money in new houses and new buildings, shouldn't we make them appealing? Shouldn't we make them beautiful to the soul for them to resonate with us? Sorry, so I know I jumped around a lot today and skipped from topic to topic, and my mind sometimes goes on shuffle. So I hope you were able to follow me. And I'll try to get out more videos. Okay, I'm working on it. I'm working on becoming more comfortable with this, and I'm working on what messages need to be given. So I appreciate your patience. I love you, and take care. We got this.